can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd Without Fear. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, today's video, I'll be talking about Punisher number 8 by Jason Aaron, Paul Azaceta, and Jesus Saiz. This issue, and I guess technically also the last issue of Punisher number 7, which I didn't do a video for, I think a lot of crazy and interesting things are going on here that really recontextualize, as we have kind of been seeing with the last several issues of the Punisher. We've really seen Jason Aaron recontextualize everything we've ever known or thought about the Punisher, from his origin story, how it's been changed that he technically was already the Punisher long before his wife Maria and his children were ever killed by the Maja. We've also learned that his relationship with Maria and his children has been completely recontextualized, and a lot of things make way more sense about why he has this massively major vendetta that he has carried on for decades now in the Marvel Comics universe to get revenge for the loss of his family, to punish every criminal in the name of his dead wife and children. And it's largely because he wasn't really much of a good father or husband the entirety of the time that he was with Maria and those kids. He pretty much kept them at arm's length. He didn't even really want to have much to do with them. He was just always kind of caught up into himself. And while there's definitely a story there to talk about in regards to PTSD and trying to compartmentalize and process the things that he had seen and done while he was overseas serving in the Marines, I know a lot of people are probably not going to be happy with this because it taints the idea of what they feel the Punisher should be. But honestly, to me, it made a lot of sense, especially when you consider why he's been so hardcore about this mission. And I feel like the recontextualization that a lot of people are gonna miss is, while yes, Jason Aaron is showing that he wasn't very loving or affectionate as a father or husband, not necessarily because he didn't care about them, but just because he didn't know how. Going to war at such an early age, right out of high school, had kind of robbed him of those emotions. And not only that, his already being groomed by the Hand so early has also done that to him. But I think the thing a lot of people are going to miss here is that the reason why he's so adamant about avenging Maria and his kids is because he realized too late that he wasn't the person that they deserved to have. And once they were dead, he realized that, and it was the first time he'd really felt any true, genuine emotions since the first day that he met Maria. We saw in the previous couple of issues that he and Maria just kind of were falling apart almost immediately as they started coming together. The moment that Maria became pregnant with their first child, it pretty much threw everything out of whack. And Frank just pushed her away and went into the military to get away from it all. But that's not really what we're here to talk about. The thing that I find interesting here is that Daredevil in the previous couple of issues pulled up on the Punisher, revealing that he was aware of what was going on with Punisher and the Hand. And when he encounters Frank Castle, you can tell Matt is genuinely concerned when he sees Frank like this. He knows that Frank somehow, some way is being manipulated. He knows the Hand is offering him something, and Daredevil would know better than most people because he's been the leader of the Hand before, something that we have actually talked about on the Daredevil side of things in the past, and I think I've even talked about in a previous video for Punisher about how Daredevil was once the leader of the Hand during the Shadowland story arc. He was even completely consumed with the power of the Beast, even in a roundabout way possessed by the Beast, the very same god that the Hand worship. And over time, we have been seeing Frank gain the gifts of the Beast. As each issue has gone by, he's gained more and more raw power from his time leading the Hand. And so far, Frank has already manifested 4 of the 5 gifts of the Beast. We've already seen him have the eyes of the Beast that allow him to see into the hearts and minds of others, especially people who have killed, and see exactly what it is that they have done. He knows all their crimes. He can even tell what other people are thinking using the eyes of the Beast. We have seen him extract information from people he was about to torture, not by actually causing them physical harm, but their sins and guilt just screaming out to him. We've also seen him use the fire of the beast, which a lot of people have kind of seen manifest in his eyes, but that's not really what that is. That's actually the eyes of the beast. The fire of the beast is where we have seen him ignite the dagger that he was given by the archpriestess and plunge it into the hearts of others, as well as surround himself with hellfire and flame. And of course, he has the healing blood, which is basically his new healing factor that we've discussed over the past few issues. While I don't think this is actually specifically a gift, we did learn in Punisher number 7, he has the ability to fly now. Punisher can actually levitate and fly. We've also discovered, thanks to Daredevil trying to cure Frank of whatever it is the hand is doing to him, he also seems to have an aversion to holy symbols. When Daredevil tries to put a cross against Punisher's face, we see it visibly burn his skin. And in Punisher number 8, he gains yet another gift, the marrow of the beast, which allows him to possess superhuman strength. So right now, he has all but one of the gifts. And not only does the marrow of the beast make Punisher superhumanly strong, it also seems to give him superhuman durability, because at a later point in this comic, we see someone swing a katana against his arm, and when he goes to block it with his forearm, and mind you, blocking a katana with his whole forearm, nothing between him and that blade other than flesh and bandages, the blade breaks against his forearm. And while it does seem like there's a little bit of blood that comes out, this is far more than any normal human would ever be capable of doing without some level of enhanced capabilities. And the superhuman strength that he possesses, while we don't really know the full limit or extent of it, we do know the strength he now possesses is enough to allow him to punch through someone's skull and exploding their head with just the power of his fist alone. Something very reminiscent if you ever watched the Punisher Warzone movie. Very reminiscent of that scene. Not only that, but Punisher has also formed an army. Now, yes, he has already had the hand. He's had a near endless supply of hand ninjas. That's not news. But what he does have now, because we know Daredevil, on his side of things, he's putting together an army of various and sundry mercenaries, killers, and warriors, and even some supervillains, characters like the Life Foundation symbiote, Agony, as well as other characters like Stiltman, Speed Demon, Fancy Dan, and Bullet. Frank Castle, he has his own, as we saw a few issues back where the Archpriestess had handpicked 4 hand ninjas and slaughtered their entire families. She used this as a means to turn them into more versions of the Punisher, because she felt that only someone who had truly lost their family would ever be able to fight as fiercely and as adamantly as the Punisher does. And Punisher never sat right with that. He never particularly cared for how the Archpriestess did this. He even went as far as killing the Archpriestess, or rather attempting to kill her, because she can't really be easily killed. But now Punisher has taken these quotey fingers Punisher ninjas and made them part of his own personal honor guard. Not only that, the knife that he was given by the Archpriestess, he's had it broken down and reforged into bullets that he's going to use to take down Ares, who, as we already know, has come to the island of the Hand and has found his way to the compound where Frank and the Hand are hiding out. So we already know Frank is set for round 2 with Ares. This time is going to go completely different, because last time he didn't have half as many of the gifts of the beast, at least none of which that would have helped him kill Ares. And now we know that Ares is actually vulnerable. We did see at a point in Punisher number 6 where, despite the fact that Ares was easily able to kill Punisher, we did see Punisher was able to make Ares bleed. The dagger the Archpriestess gave him is more than capable of piercing Ares' flesh. We saw in issue number 6, he plunged it into Ares' heart, and it actually hurt him. It was really the only time in the fight where Punisher actually did anything to Ares that physically affected him. And now Punisher, with these newly reforged bullets and his army of Punisher ninjas behind him, he seems ready to take down Ares once and for all, on his way to taking down the Fist. Now, I do find some things interesting in this comic, just the simple fact that in this we see Punisher promising those, quotey fingers Punisher ninjas, pun ninjas, or whatever you want to call them. We did see Frank promise them that he was going to give them their families back, but I think we all know Punisher might be lying to himself about that. Now, technically speaking, if he's talking about using the Hand's magic and capabilities, it's not going to be 100% possible because, as we've seen, even with Maria right now, even though she was resurrected, she's not really 100% all there, and she's even kind of changing herself, even becoming somewhat more supportive of what Frank is doing, if only for it to end everything that they've been going through lately. But we also know the Hand can't resurrect children. As the Archpriest has told Frank, it's much harder to bring someone back who's been dead longer than they've been alive. But he does imply that killing Ares is going to give them the power to do the things that the Hand couldn't do for them before, so maybe that's more what Frank is referring to when he says that he's going to get each of these ninjas their families back. Once again, Punisher is on that collision course to face off with Old Hornhead very soon, and it seems like this might be the biggest battle these two have ever had with one another. These guys have a history between each other that spans decades. Like, this isn't going to be the first time Punisher and Daredevil have ever faced off with one another. They've often been allies and at odds with one another, had this really back and forward love-hate relationship that I think this time around is going to be more hate than love. But anyways, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. We're getting real close to 75,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that bell so you get notifications on every video. And in the meantime, let me know what you thought about Punisher number 8. Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.